Well, switching gears now to look at the recently concluded party primaries, particularly the People's Democratic Party primaries. We're focusing today on Enugu State, where they had parallel primaries that produced two governorship candidates for the PDP in that state. While one claims the other was wrong, the other one claims they are right. Anyway, they're here to tell us what exactly transpired, and to kick it off is Chidi Aro, a member of the People's Democratic Party in Enugu State. Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Which of the aspirants do you represent again?
No, I'm not representing any aspirant per se, and the truth is, I take some exception to the statements of there was parallel Congress. There is nothing existing in law about parallel Congresses. There can only be one Congress. And there was only one Congress, and that Congress elected Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi as candidate of the party for the forthcoming governorship elections.
Our correspondent was in Enugu.
Yeah.
You had two, okay, you said there was one Congress, but there was another Congress that held somewhere else that produced Senator Anyogo.
I'm sorry, Neil, there's nothing like another Congress. I take you to the PDP Constitution. The PDP Constitution defines what a Congress is. And it says a state Congress of a party is held at least once in every 2 years. It states who are delegates that should come to this Congress. And it says that the chairman of the party in the state must chair the Congress. Now, if, for instance, these constitutional provisions are there, if there's a Congress to elect a governorship candidate, and the party has written to INEC and said, this is the electoral panel we've appointed, led by King Asara Asara, and then INEC has come to observe these congresses, led by the state resident electoral commissioner, okay, the monetary team from Abuja, led by Ogadima, the one from Enugu, led by Ibe Uibe, and then the delegates are there. Then the Congress is holding. Then somebody goes to his hotel room and says he's holding something parallel. You see, let's look at this thing from a clear perspective. WAEC sets exam in a secondary school. Some students say, no, we don't like the face of our principal. They go into a room, they do an exam. So does it mean that on February 14th, those parties that are not happy with INEC will abandon INEC and do their own election, and then Nigerians will say there was a parallel presidential election on February 14th? It's not possible. The ideal thing is that there must be law and order for a society to function properly. And what's law and order? We must play by the rules. If the party has said, this is our electoral panel, this is our venue for Congress, and then everybody is there, the panel, the entire members of the panel, like I said, the Constitution says a state Congress was chaired by the chairman of the party. Now, the entire state executives of PDP, from Ikeja Asogwa, to the former acting chairman, the acting chairman was Deputy Chairman Aja, to Vitaba, who retired, who just resigned, was there. Now, whether you dispute delegate or no delegate, the Constitution of PDP provides for certain statutory members of the state Congress. The Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, was there. His Excellency, the Governor of Enugu State, was sitting in this Congress. All the members of the National Assembly, where Senator Anyogo belongs to, were there. I can name all of them. The Deputy Senate President is colleague in the Senate. Senator Gilbert Naji is his colleague in the Senate. In the House of Representatives, the whole 8 members from Enugu, let's start from Nsukka Igboeze South. Dr. Pat Asado was there. Igboeze North Udenu is where Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi represents. He was a candidate, he was there. Igboeti Uzo 1 is where Princess Ungu represents, she was there. Enugu North and South is where Honorable Ofochukwuebo represents, Honorable Ofochukwuebo was there. Isuzo Enugu East is represented by Honorable Kisle Ebenyi, Honorable Kisle Ebenyi was there. Ogu Aneri Oji River is represented by Honorable Tobi Okechukwu, Honorable Tobi Okechukwu was there. Udieziago Federal Constituency is represented by Honorable Ozombachi, Honorable Ozombachi was there. The entire 24 members of Enugu State House of Assembly were present there, led by their Speaker, Honorable Gino Odo, who was a candidate in this election. The 17 council chairmen elected in Enugu State were there, led by the Agon chairman. The 17 party chairmen in all the local governments in Enugu State were there. The 17 vice chairmen of the party, of the councils in the local governments were there. The party treasurer, the party secretary in all the 17 local governments were there.
We get your point. Now the question is, you know, sometimes when candidates believe that the party is being skewed in such a way that is going to favor a particular candidate, they kick. At what point did we begin to sense that there was going to be a quarrel? Because if we're going to elect or we're doing primaries, it definitely is a competition of some sort between certain candidates. If Senator Ayo Goeze had indicated interest, to also run for governorship as a governorship candidate, or to be a governorship candidate, at what point did things become all right? Because definitely he was also a part, or was supposed to be a part of the primaries that you talked about.
Well, you see, at every point in time in a political party, there's always a struggle for positions. Senator Ayo, I must say, with all respect, is a very respected person in the party. He's a two-time senator. Before then, he was commissioner and all that. But I don't understand where this crisis comes from. You see, sometimes I read a lot of things in the press, and I keep telling people, I say, the Senator Ayo I know wouldn't say this kind of things the press writes. For instance, I'll give you two instances. One is that I read in the press where somebody said they were passerbys in the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. And I got shocked. Because I still believe till tomorrow that press statement didn't come from Senator Ayo. Because I don't understand if it is possible for a serving senator to say the deputy senate president is a passerby. That's the number 2 man in the red chamber where he serves. So at no point did we really have crisis. The point is, you see, when they tell these stories, they don't tell the truth. What they are relying on is they say some people went to court to say the November 1 delegate elections in Enugu, and that's what they are relying on.
Did some people go to court?
Yes. And
was that taken into cognizance in the Congress that you held?
Of course, obviously, and that is why two things are key. One, if you read the order of Justice Ademola, he said a declaration that there was a Congress on November 1. He said reliefs number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 refused. What were these reliefs? Seeking an order to compel the party to conduct the primaries of the party using a particular delegate list. And he said, well, from what you've presented before me, there was election on November 1. But I don't have the jurisdiction to compel a party on the process to nominate its candidate. That's one side of it. The second side of it is the parties that went to court for that Congress, Barrister Orji and co., where are they? They all voted for Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi in their Congress. They should be the ones complaining if they didn't vote. The parties that got that court order, they are alive. Let anybody produce them anywhere. They will tell you that they voted in the Congress that elected Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi in the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. Those parties to the case. So I have never seen a situation where I went to court over something. I got a judgment. Yes, you could call it a class action. I am not complaining. Some person who is sitting in his house is now complaining about the judgment I got. If that judgment I got was not enforced, I'm the one that will come out and tell the world, look, this judgment I got from this court, PDP is not respecting it.
Is it possible that you may have been bought after you got the judgment?
No. You see, the problem everybody is suffering, all the other candidates, some of the other candidates do, because some have behaved very responsibly. Anna Yonwebu stepped down. Chinedu stepped down. Okay? Because they saw the trend. The problem the candidates are facing in Enugu is that this idea of support for Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi is monumental. The movement is a phenomenon. And so that trend shocked a whole lot of people because their dreams and aspirations were not possible because, you see, I need you to go to Enugu. If you like, go and bring a delegate list that is made up of only farmers. Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi will win again. You like, go and bring a delegate list that is made up of only clergymen. So you will win again.